Okay. Hi, everybody. We are expecting additional people, but we can start with questions. If you have any questions about what we discussed yesterday or about anything else that you would like to ask, feel free to ask while we are waiting rest of the group to join or something like that.
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
Regarding tests that we did yesterday,
Okay.
never start with this test. We leave it for the end.
You're talking about processing of the test or having test?
We never process these statements. We never process them. So I was thinking, what would be if we process these statements first?
This is something you can process them anytime you want, and you will have benefits from that. But actually, most of the charge that you have on the goal is located on is it possible to fail or not, or basically on your ability to fail. At the beginning, you are mostly concerned about ability to achieve your goal. This is why we are starting with is it possible to fail, and only later we use this for to identify and deal with remaining charge. This is the reason why, like, you can say, if you pay attention, in our mastermind groups, we went through different questions that you can use, and we are using them all the time and things like that. But actually, in basic course, you have just one question, and that question is it possible to fail? This is just because this is absolutely dominant location of the chart. Like, most of the chart is if you're possible to achieve it or not. So this is the reason why you are not doing it at the beginning. You can, and you can say, okay, I'm preparing myself for that, for whole work. Yeah, great. But actually, like, because sometimes, in most cases, even if you are using different questions, you will have answers on why it is possible to fail. And this is why it is most logical to start with that question.
Okay, thank you.
Cool, great. Any other questions?
Good morning. I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Yesterday, before the end of the class, you mentioned that when you have 30% or around, it's like having zero. What is the recommended percent that we should strive to get during the process? 100%?
No. Like, this is natural state before you start processing. Like, it is totally cool. Even if, like, my answer was, if your basically what I wanted to say was, if your percentage is less than 50 and you didn't deal with the conflicts and you didn't use system for achievement of your goals, then you will certainly fail or something like that. But this is not prerequisite for starting to use the system. So this is just if you wouldn't process it, then your percentage would be zero or something like that. If it is lower than 50, then you have doubts and you will probably fail just because of that. But this is not prerequisite for using the system. No, you should, and if you have done test as you should and correctly, and your goal is significant and important for you, you will have really low rating for that. This is absolutely natural, and you can use system, of course, for dealing with that. In the end, it will be pretty close, very close to 100% when we finish our work with that.
Got it.
Cool.
And final question. When did you do the test? I mean, you process yourself, you do another test, you process yourself, you do another test, or
no. Like, you do a test just at the beginning of your work, and then later, if you were maybe practicing with the system later, like 14th or last exercise before you start really taking actions in material world is work with the test. So basically, you are testing yourself at the beginning and you don't test yourself after that. You just use test later for elimination of some inner conflicts that you have.
Okay, yeah, got it. So, and those inner conflicts can be a negative belief, can be an emotion, can be a trauma, whatever it is against the goal, the achievement of the goal is going to be resolved with the quick goal systems technique, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, like most, like I said to Olivera just a second ago, like most of the charge is based on will you be able to achieve it or not. Some of these are based on some of your beliefs. You have some traumas and different things like that. But actually, you will find 90% of the charge by that question, is it possible to take, that you will use today and that you work with the 10 fingers process.
Okay, thank you so much.
Cool. Okay, anybody else? Any more questions about things that we did yesterday or about anything else? Okay.
Hi, Filip.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Now, finally, nice to meet you. We've been interacting on email for some time, but
yes.
I found the time to come live and really interact with you. Good. So just one question, that because I haven't used this process, so like, does it really work for even the impossible goals? I know I'm going to practice it and test it for myself, but it's like the logical mind is keep creating a question that how can some system be so like on your website, and sometimes you've mentioned that 100% of all your goals that you set are achievable through the system, through the quick goals, through the system that we're learning right now. So like, how does that work?
This is if you pay attention, this is just conditionally truth. And when I say this is conditionally truth, this is truth in the sense that when you start with impossible goal or something that is impossible from with the freedoms that you have in your situation, then by processing, like this is, if you look it from the other side, reason why you would set such a goal is that you are basically not in complete harmony with your environment. And this is why you are setting a goal that is impossible. Your ego wants something that and doesn't perceive or doesn't receive signals from the universe that you are getting. And this is why you set such a goal. In a way, by elimination in the conflicts that you have, by processing yourself, you are basically harmonizing yourself with yourself and with the universe. And because of that, you will have cognition about that you should change your goal. And in that way, like this is, you can say, this is one side of you can achieve any goal that you want, basically because you will have realizations about that. Second part is that you can achieve any goal that you set, but if you are working long enough on it and you fail enough times and modify your behavior. So it means, for example, I work with the client, and her goal was to create a restaurant. She wanted to be owner of the restaurant. And like, for example, one of her in-between outcomes, some of the things that she was trying to achieve was to borrow money from her father for having this restaurant. And he refused. Like this was her first plan was, I will borrow and then I will do this and that, like something like that. Then one of her in-between outcomes failed. And so her father she got in really bad emotional state. She was talking about how her parents always love her brother more than her, different emotional stuff about that. Process. Then she realized, okay, like this is not really failure. I need to go to bank to and ask for a loan. Then she went to bank and asked for a loan. She was refused by a bank. like her business plan wasn't good enough. Then again, process. She remembered that she has a cousin, and her cousin is basically have masters in management or something like that, and she's specialized in making business plans, and she created business plan for her, reapplied to bank, and got a loan from bank. So even if she didn't get, like, then she would say, okay, I'm going to if she didn't have a cousin like that, then she would probably find something on internet and some material how to, and things like that. So basically, what you should understand here is that I can achieve it is conditional in a sense that you will modify your behavior, and in the end, you will achieve it. And this is, again, if you set your goals correctly. For example, if your goal is, I'm going to achieve such and such, like, for example, I have a client, his goal is, I will be accepted to drama school or drama academy in Zagreb, and to be an actor. And basically, they are accepting 8 people from, and they have something like 150 candidates for something like that. And if you set a goal like that, then this is not sure that you will achieve it. This is not magical system. You cannot force your will on material universe by system. No, system is behavioral system. Basically, it improves your behavior and it makes it more in harmony with the universe. And because of that, if you, like, you can say, if he would correctly set his goal, he would say, I am professional, I will have a really successful professional career in acting. And then first step would be to try to get into academy. Then he had different contacts, and he will probably in the next year, he will have auditions from different places, and he would, if he continued to do that and work on himself and modify his behavior, he will either succeed next year, or he will be professional actor without attending that school or something like that. So in that sense, this is only sense in which you can guarantee achievement of your goal. You can say that even if you don't set your goal in that way, but you use the system, you will, after some time, you will realize, like when I process myself and eliminate conflicts, when he is not accepted to drama school, he will realize, when he is in a good emotional state, he will say, okay, this is not a big deal. I already had 2 auditions and I was really good with them, and I have contacts in different things. It feels okay. I just need to continue. I don't have to give up my goal because I wasn't accepted in the school. This is natural thing if you eliminate inner conflict. So basically, you are harmonizing yourself with your environment, and because of that, your behavior is getting better and better in every step.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So
you're welcome.
It's like people who don't use this system or any of the spiritual technology, they carry the charge, even though they keep taking action, but the charge increases. But here the beauty is we are dissolving the charge or resolving the internal conflict and then going forward. Yes. So there's more ease and there's more grace in the way we do it. So I think that beautiful example and explanation. Thank you, Filip.
And there is even something I believe maybe even more important than that. And that is that not only that you are feeling better and you are more in harmony with universe. Our negative emotions, we are treating them as negative emotions, but actually I really believe they are survival mechanism. That really means that they are useful. And they are useful in the sense that they are forcing you to change behavior. Sometimes you are not listening. This is alarm system that is telling you, okay, this is the stupid behavior. Things that you are planning to do is really bad. Like, so if if you have a client who is really shy and he cannot force himself to call girl that he wants to date, that feeling that is blocking him from calling, this is basically positive behavior. He has some lessons in his past that he didn't integrate it in his behavior. He didn't learn something that is necessary for that situation. And this is why that negative emotion is there. It is alarm system that is blinking in his head. This is not just for like, let's process ourselves and feel better. No, this is harmonization with environment and all the information that you are having from previous situations that you are not using in that specific situation. This is not just, okay, if I eliminate my negative feelings, I would be able to behave better. Yes, of course, cool, great. But actually, not only that, if you don't integrate some of these negative emotions, you are leaving some lectures that your unconsciousness is trying strongly to force you to look at them.
Communicate.
But you are saying, okay, this is unpleasant. I don't want to look at that. Like you have fire alarm, and you are turning it off because it is unpleasant sound.
I don't like the sound.
Yeah, I don't like the sound. I will turn it off, or something like that.
Correct.
So this is why it is not just let's feel better, like eliminate negative feelings about that, but actually you need to learn some things that are there hidden below your awareness level or something like that.
So the message behind the negative emotions are not actually negative. They act like the fire alarm system. They make us aware of something is going on, which we need to integrate. Beautiful. Thank you, Filip.
Yeah, cool. You're welcome. Okay. Anybody else? Anything else that you would like to ask or say or something? Cool. Okay.
What is the difference between integrate feelings and emotions versus delete, release?
Only difference is just the one that I said. Like basically, if you are able to erase them, you integrated them in some way. So basically, only when they are integrated, they will stop bothering. Did you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, cool. I'm hearing some Zoom communication from that I don't. So basically, there is no difference. You can say integration is just more about your cognitions that you're having, and erasure that you're talking about is more about how you feel. But actually, you're talking about the same thing all the time.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. If we don't have any other questions, we can go to our first exercises. And just need to okay, this is okay. Cool. So we are going to start working on 10 fingers process, or about on technique for elimination of our inner conflicts. Most of you, or some of you, have already have contacts with that and practice with the video course or practical course or something like ebook. But actually, we'll go from the beginning and so that we know that we are all at the same page about what we are doing. Okay, so technique that we are okay. First thing to say is that before. Basically, you can say the following. Your work on goals, if you are trying to integrate spiritual or self-improvement techniques into your work for achievement of your goals, you probably need to cover two big things. First of them is elimination of inner conflicts. This is what we talked about yesterday, basically. In most cases, you are blocked or stuck with previous experiences that you have in the area of your goal. And because of them, you are really not in the best possible state to start working on your goals. This is first. Second thing is you need to have some system that will give you clear vision about how you're going to achieve your goal. So, two things, elimination of inner conflicts, and second, basically direction about specific behavior in material world that you will have in order to achieve your goal, how you will achieve your goal in material world. And like we talked yesterday, you need to first eliminate inner conflicts that you have about it, or basically to get yourself in optimal state, and only then to start thinking about how I'm going to achieve it. Because if you don't do that, your decision about how you will achieve your goal will be polluted or influenced in a negative way by your problematic limiting beliefs, by your negative emotions, by your barriers from the past or traumas from the past and things like that. If you don't eliminate them, they will influence what you will, so how you will decide to achieve your goal. For example, if I have some problems in the past and because of them, I cannot, I don't have trust in other people, then my decision about how to achieve my goal would be detrimentally influenced in a negative way, or basically in a negative way, really influenced by my inability to trust other people. So basically, I would reject all possible ways to achieve my goal that are based on cooperation with other people. This is why we really need first to eliminate inner conflicts. And this is why first we are working with 10 fingers process, and then only later we start creation of goal achievement experience and deciding about best case scenario list of actions and how you will achieve your goal in the material world. So 10 fingers process. 10 fingers process is a really simple and easy process that you can effectively use without some, it is really not technically really demanding for you to use it correctly. This is why it is good. Hey, I can say that yeah, okay. So we will now I'm going to start that PowerPoint presentation so that you see what I'm doing from the beginning. Okay. Let me share this with you. Share. Okay. Do you see a presentation now?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Welcome.
10 fingers process. Cool. Okay. So, like, hopefully you have 10 fingers process printed. If not, you can have it opened in some electronic device in your telephone or in other window in your computer or something like that. It will be really useful to have it because we're talking about it. So, like we said, okay, the thing that I said was we have two really big problems for achieving goals, and we need to resolve them both. First one is inner conflict that we have. We need to eliminate them. And second one is not knowing how to achieve your goal, or basically you need to decide how exactly you will achieve your goal in material world. What you will notice when you start using 10 fingers process is that as you will use it, you will start with some abstract problems that you will have, probably from the past and things like that. It is possible to fail and things like that. But later, as you are getting closer and closer into the state when you are in the optimal state for achievement, your idea about how goal will be achieved in material world will crystallize, and you will basically get closer and closer. Even if you're not thinking about how specifically you will achieve it, your idea will get narrow, more and more narrow, and you will get closer and closer to the idea about how you will achieve it. This is because your perception about what the goal is will change as you are eliminating inner conflicts that you have about it. So eliminating inner conflicts. Okay, this is the same thing that I already said. Yeah, okay. When we are talking about elimination of inner conflicts, there are different conflicts that you will encounter, but really most important one is your orientation. So you have basically here you have two possible states that you can be in regard to your goal. Left one is what you want. This is when you are in good emotional state and you are oriented toward your goal. You are full of enthusiasm. You are ready to take actions. You are feeling good about your goal. Everything is fine. This is what you want to experience. Other state is withdrawal from your goal. So basically, you feel that there are some barriers in the situation, and because of them, you are retreating from your goal, or basically you are withdrawing from your goal. You might say, okay, I would like to have that goal. I want to work on that. This is my goal, ha ha ha, blah, blah, blah. But actually, in most cases, besides that, you have feelings that are saying to you, I cannot have this goal if this happened, or I cannot have this goal if that happened. I cannot have this goal because of this, or I cannot have that goal because of that. And because of that, you are not absolutely confident that you will achieve your goal. This is state that you would like to be in, and this is what we have on the left side. And extension of that is what I call first golden rule of three goals. It is to have any chance to achieve your goal, you need first to orientate yourself towards the goal instead of away from the goal. So you cannot be in that second state on the right. So you cannot be withdrawing from your goal because different barriers, but you need to be oriented toward achievement of your goal. Only then only then you have chance for achievement of that goal. If you don't, basically, because of these negative feelings, you will not even start. You will not even have beginning of the momentum toward achievement. This is why most people start writing a novel and write 5 pages, and after that stop. They have emotional state in which that is blocking their achievement. You need first to get yourself in a really good emotional state, and only then you will have any chance for achievement. It is not be guaranteed, but actually you will be able to start working and deal with the things that are happening in material world. Okay, again, this is on the left side, negative state. On the right side, state that you have. You will be aware that some of the barriers exist, but you will still stay with the intention to have your goal. So if you have your 10 fingers process printed in front of you, or if you have them in other window opened or on other device, then we can start talking about that. Structure of 10 fingers process. There are basically 3 big parts of that process. If you are looking at in front of you, you have 6 questions in that process. First 2 are there for identification of the barrier. Second part, going through 10 fingers. This is what is written in your materials, going through 10 fingers. This is what we are going to do. And what most people perceive as a process. And last 2 questions, this is part 3, are basically things that are there to stabilize and integrate cognitions that you might have had in that process, and maybe modify your goal if there is a need for that. Okay, this is shorter version of the process that you have in front of yourself. So basically, first step is pay attention to your goal and a deadline before which you want to achieve it. Is it possible to fail? So basically, you're asking yourselves, are you absolutely confident, or you believe that there is possibility of failure. This is first question. Second question is, how can you fail? So basically, is it possible to fail? How can you fail? These two questions are there to define barrier that you have and barrier that you have that is making you give up your goal. This is what is happening on the left. So when you are like that, then you have barrier and you feel that because of that barrier, you cannot achieve your goal. So is it possible to fail? Yes. How can you fail? These two things define our barrier. After that, we have going through 10 fingers. I will show you what that exactly means and explain. And the second two questions are realizations about the goal or barrier that you have, realizations, 4 realizations, and 5 possible improvement of your goal. Sometimes some of your cognitions and realizations that you're having during the process are demanding in a way or making it more obvious what is the better formulation of your goal, how you can define your goal more precisely. And this is what we are doing in step number 5. Step number 6 tells us to go again to the point number 1. That really means that the process is not completed, is not finished once you go through all 6 steps, but you need to go again and again with different new barriers that you have about your goal. So generally it says that you don't have just one barrier that we need to deal with, but actually you have more of them, and we need to do it again and again and again until the point when we don't have any barriers, don't have barriers anymore. This would be generally the moment when you say to yourself, it's not possible to fail. So what do we mean when I said going through 10 fingers? It is a really, really simple process. What you are doing is putting one of the fingers from your left hand, one by one, you're putting them all, like one of the fingers of your left hand you're putting on the table in front of you, for example, or on your leg or something like that. You're having first of the fingers putting on the table, and then you are feeling that it is possible to fail because of the barrier that you identify in step number 1. You can say, let me check. You can say in the process, if you pay attention, like these first 2 questions are there. Is it possible to fail? And second, how can you fail? With these, you define your barrier. On the left hand, you are just experiencing what you have found on the first 2 questions. So on the left hand, you are experiencing it is possible to fail because of such and such, because of barrier that you define. So basically, on the left hand, you can directly you are basically on the left hand, you are experiencing just what you have found and defined in the first 2 questions, that it is possible to fail and that you can fail by such and such. For example, if my barrier was, is it possible to fail? Yes. How can you fail? I can fail because there is global economic crisis in this moment. Then on the left hand, you will experience it's possible to fail. You are putting left hand on the table. You are feeling it is possible to fail because there is global economic crisis. So basically, you're just experiencing on the left hand what you have found in the first two questions. And on the right hand, this is left hand. On the right hand, you are doing different things. You are putting your thumb again on the table, or basically one of your fingers on the table, but you're experiencing, although that barrier exists, I still want my goal. So basically, you are doing what we found on the right side. You are experiencing barrier. You know that barrier exists, but you notice that you still want your goal, although barrier exists. And after that, when you feel that, you inhale and exhale. And then you go through the whole thing. This is not so. Okay. So going from the left and left hand, you feel it's possible to fail. So this is basically summary of the thing. It says with the fingers on your left hand, you experience it is possible to fail because of the barrier that you find in step number 2. And on the right hand, you feel, although barrier from step number 2 exists, I still want my goal. So if when we summarize all this, this is what will happen in our process. Again, I have it here. Cool. So pay attention to your goal and the deadline before you want to achieve it. Is it possible to fail? Let's say that I'm doing this process and that my goal is to create my own business. Okay. Pay attention to your goal and deadline before you want to achieve it. Is it possible to fail? Yes. How can you fail? I can fail because there is crisis and a lot of businesses are going out of business. A lot of companies are going out of business. So, going through 10 fingers. So that means put the thumb of your left finger on a table and putting it on a table. And I'm experiencing it. Okay, it is possible to fail because there is economic crisis and a lot of companies are going out of business. Inhale, exhale. Thumb of the right hand. Although barrier exists, although there is economic crisis, I still want my goal. I didn't give up my goal because of economic crisis. And inhale, exhale. Then I'm going to the second finger left hand. Second finger left hand. Is it possible to fail? It is possible to fail because there is economic crisis. Inhale, exhale. Right hand. Although economic crisis exists, although there is economic crisis, and a lot of companies are going out of business, I still want my goal. So I just noticed that I didn't give up my goal because that barrier. And I inhale, exhale. Third finger, it is possible to fail because of economic crisis. Third finger, right hand, although there is economic crisis, I still want my goal. I didn't give up my goal. Inhale, exhale. And so on. So in that way, you go through all 10 fingers. On the left hand, it's possible to fail because such and such, barrier. On the right hand, although economic crisis or any other barrier exists, I still want my goal. So on the right hand, you are just noticing that you still want your goal. This is really true. That you still want your goal, although barrier exists. This is on the right side. So barrier exists, but you didn't give up your goal. You didn't retreat from your goal because of that barrier, and you are just continuing toward that. This is something that absolutely naturally happens about that. So do here. Okay, okay. Let us do one demonstration with some of you. Yayati, would you like to work with me?
Sure.
I do.
Cool, great. Why wouldn't you? Just let me stop sharing. Stop share. Okay, cool. Stop share. Okay, let's do this. Okay, just one moment. I clicked something that I shouldn't have. Cool. So tell us something really shortly about your goal.
So my goal is to earn 25, like in terms of, I'll give the number in terms of US dollars, so that's easy to understand by everyone.
Like
to earn $25,000 and
okay.
Yes, and the specific conditions are that I do this with ease and grace. I do this while enjoying my time with my family and having a balance between the time that I invest in my business and my family.
Cool, great. Okay, so okay, pay attention to that goal and check, is it possible to fail?
Yes.
Okay. How strong is that feeling that it is possible to fail? So basically, if you would rate it from 0 to 10, how strong is it now? Like
it's a 7 or 10.
Okay, great, perfect. So how can you fail?
Number one is not knowing the exact pathway.
Okay,
And
we
number
will
two
start.
is,
Okay, let's start with one. Okay, cool.
okay, fine.
Cool. Close your eyes. Put the thumb of your left hand on the table and feel that it's possible to fail because you don't know exact path how to achieve it. Inhale, exhale. Okay, thumb of the right hand on the table. Notice that this is a fact that you are not absolutely certain about the path. Okay, do you still want your goal? Just notice this is the truth. I'm not certain about that. But did you give up your goal because of that, or you still want your goal?
No, I still want my goal.
Notice that and just inhale, exhale. Index finger left hand. Again, notice it's possible to fail. Maybe I can fail because I don't know exactly how to achieve it. I'm not sure about the path. Inhale, exhale. Index finger right hand. Just again, notice there is possibility that I would fail because of that. I'm not quite certain how. But notice that you didn't give up your goal because of that. That you still want your goal, although and at this moment you are not absolutely sure how. Inhale, exhale. Third finger left hand. I would like that goal, but maybe I will not be able to achieve it because I don't know how. Inhale, exhale. Third finger right hand. Notice that you are not absolutely certain, but do you still want your goal? Do you want it, or you gave up because you don't know exactly how?
I want it.
Inhale, exhale. Fourth finger left hand. I want that goal, but maybe I cannot have it. I don't know exactly how. I'm not quite certain. Inhale, exhale. Again, right hand. There is a possibility that I will fail because I'm not absolutely certain. This is the fact. But I still want it. I didn't give up because of that. Inhale, exhale. And the fifth finger left hand. It's possible to fail. Maybe I can fail. Maybe I will fail because I don't know exactly how. It's not absolutely clear. Inhale, exhale. The right hand, although I'm not absolutely certain, I still want my goal. I didn't give up my goal because of that. Inhale, exhale. Okay, any cognitions, any realizations, how that barrier, I'm not exactly certain how I will achieve it, feels now or looks now.
It still has some charge, but
Okay.
I feel like the answer that I got was that, okay, maybe you can ask for help and ask for help from someone who's already done it.
Okay, cool. For example, who could that be?
So that could be one person that I'm aware of is Satyen.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely understand.
And
great.
Yes.
Okay.
I have one more friend here in India who
Mm-hmm.
also has got this. So I have people who I can ask for
Yeah. Cool.
help.
I can understand. Great, perfect. Okay, what was the second thing that you said? There is another one. You said
So
first
the
one is
second thing, yeah, despite knowing, I will not act on it.
okay, cool. Left hand, like thumb of the left hand, put it on the table. Like it's possible to fail, maybe I will not take actions when the action is necessary. Inhale, exhale. Right hand, thumb of the right hand. Maybe it is possible to fail because of maybe I will not take actions. But did you give up your goal because of that? There is a possibility that you will not take actions. But do you still want your goal, although that possibility exists? Notice that you want.
I do.
Inhale, exhale. Again, index of the left hand. Index finger left hand. It is possible to fail. Maybe I won't act when the action is necessary. Inhale, exhale. Right hand, index finger. Notice that in the past, you were like that. Sometimes that you didn't act when the action was necessary. But do you still want your goal, although you were like that in the past? Does that make you give up your goal or not? Notice that you still want it. Inhale, exhale. Third finger left hand. It's possible to fail. Maybe I won't act when the action is necessary. Inhale, exhale. Third finger right hand. Although it is possible that I will not take actions when it is necessary, I didn't give up my goal. I still want my goal, although that possibility exists. Inhale, exhale. And last finger left hand. It is possible to fail. Maybe I will not take action. Inhale, exhale. Right hand. Although in the past I was sometimes like that, I didn't take action. Do you still want your goal, or you give up your goal because of that, because of the past behavior? Notice that you want it, just inhale, exhale. Okay, any cognition, any realization?
I will make a list of people who are already I'm in conversation with and restart the conversations with them. Cool,
great. So let's check, when you think about it, let's check again, is it possible to fail?
Now it's like a 2 on 10.
Okay, just this is like, okay, of course, you continue doing the process like we said, like this is repeat. We have done just 2. Okay, but actually, what we can see as a group is that rating, like feeling, is really reduced a lot with what we did. And what you should also notice is that the same thing that we said at the beginning, the emotional change is not the result of some magic property of the process that we are doing. But actually, what is happening in process is change of your viewpoint in regard to goal, or basically of your perception of the goal. You have better understanding of your goal. Your unconsciousness was pushing your attention toward actions that you need to take on one side, and second, on help that you need to get from other people. So you're not feeling better because some magical properties of the process, but because your attitude toward the whole situation is much more self-centered, or basically oriented toward your ability to deal with that situation. You feel you know how to deal with that situation much better now than it was at the beginning. So this is why process is giving changes in emotional states, because it is changing it is increasing your understanding and your centeredness on yourself and your own behavior about how to achieve your goal. Cool. Okay. Any questions from anybody, from you or from group?
So how many cycles do we need to do of the 10 fingers until we have no barriers?
Yes, until you find yourself in a state in which you know that it's not possible to fail. Pay attention to the following. It may sound like absolutely impossible that you will feel that it's not possible to fail, but actually, we are not trying to make you delusional that you don't know that some meteor can destroy planet and I will not achieve my goal or something like that. There are something that can happen, but actually, when you are in optimal state, when I ask you, is it possible to fail? You would say, like, I don't really. This is irrelevant. Like, I can tell if I ask you, okay, what about different things that can happen that we are not considering? We say yes, of course. But actually, I don't care about it. I just need to do this, and this, and I don't want actually to look at that. This is not delusional, but your answer will really be, it's not possible to fail. Cool. Dragana, let's hear first from Dragana.
Thank you. I have one question. Is it important which side will be positive and negative where the left-handed people are?
Yeah, it is really absolutely irrelevant what hand you're using. Like I created technique demonstrating to people that they really don't have to tap for in some of the techniques. What is working in technique, it is basically cognitional technique. It works on realizations that you're having, and part that is working in technique is your putting your attention to problem or also to one state or another state. These are two polarities that you're putting your attention on. And what you want to have is some kind of structure, that you are not just in your head. This is supporting you so that if you wander off during the process, that you know what you're doing. You will have one of the fingers on the table. Okay, you know, next step is this. So fingers are there just to give you some kind of structure in the process that you're doing. They are not actually functional parts of the technique. You can do anything else. I can touch my ear or whatever instead of putting it a finger on the table.
Okay. And may I just ask a second question?
Of course.
Thank you. And from your experience, is it possible that with one barrier we finished with 10 fingers and then again occur the same barrier and then we go to the same circle with this barrier, or you from experience know that this barrier will disappear after 10 fingers?
This is answer to that question is basically main answer to that question is usually you haven't defined your barrier specifically and precisely enough if it is repeating. This is most often, this is the reason. For example, if I would say, if you are working on your goal and you said, like, is it possible to fail? Yes. How can you fail? I can fail if not behaving toward people as I should. And I do, and we go with that. And after that, it repeats again. But actually, what I would ask you even in the first round, but actually if first round doesn't give a result, then I would say, okay, what kind of things you might miss, you might fail to do. So when your answer is not specific enough, then you will not have cognitions on the right hand, because like instead of looking at, I will not be able to confront people that are authorities, and I was just saying I will not deal with the people in an optimal way, then I will not have cognitions that you will have, because you are looking at non-optimal thing and you cannot really realize what you need to realize. Realization that I have, that I should have, was connected to how should I deal with authorities, for example, and not just with people or something like that. In most cases, reason is that. There is other reason, and that is sometimes formulation that you are using need to be a little bit modified, but actually in most cases this is about not having your barrier defined specifically enough.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Cool. Marianne. Marianne.
Hi, Filip.
Hi.
Can you hear me well?
I'm hearing you perfectly fine.
Okay. I have a question. Yesterday, you made us write, wrote. Well, you made us write something.
Yeah. Okay.
How did we feel about the goal? And you had the list determined. It's natural for me.
Yeah. Affirmations.
Yes.
Positive affirmations. Yeah.
And we had to put a marker on scale of -10 to +10.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do with this?
And at this moment, you shouldn't do anything in this moment. But actually, like, one of the things that you can do after you complete our first process, like 10 fingers, you can use those to find additional barriers for that. For example, like when you complete basic process, is it possible to fail? The one that we are talking about now. When you process, you get yourself in a state in which you are really close to feeling it is not possible to fail. Then you can do even, let's check what is happening with my ratings on these affirmations. And you will almost certainly see that most of them are really, really much improved.
Okay.
But you can say, okay, you probably in that situation, you can say, okay, let's take the one that is improved, like that is still worst of my affirmations is, for example, +4 now instead of -10 or whatever. And they say, okay, why isn't it 5 or 6 or 7? And then you will find something, and then you can do the 10 fingers process on that. You can use these questions for finding additional conflicts when our basic process is complete.
So based on what you've just said, logically, when we check this first list after the first session of this activation, at the end, normally the list should be optimum at all the points, and it means we don't have any more barriers.
Yes, like this is what you want to, this is the state that you want to find yourself in. But actually, if you pay attention, one of the first things that we said just a few minutes ago was you need to resolve two problems. One is elimination of inner conflict so that you can start going toward your goal. This is first. The second one is you need to define how to achieve your goal. So you need to create some kind of plan of how you're going to achieve it. Like yesterday, I was talking about law of attraction and things like that. Then you basically you have that problem. If you don't have clarity, your feeling, although it is much better than it was before, it will not be perfect. Even if you think that you feel that you cannot achieve your goal, it is not perfect until you know how you will achieve it. So it may seem like I'm feeling perfectly fine, but it would be one kind of perfectly fine when you feel good, and second kind of perfectly fine, I will do that, and that, and specify exactly. For example, for Yayati, he said he has some idea about the first thing that he's going to do. But actually, after some time, he will need even more granularity, or basically more specificity and more details about all the things that he will do to get himself in a really perfect state about and feel perfectly about that law. So what I wanted to say here is that you will probably not have all 10s after just completing is it possible to fail process. There are some additional things that you need to do to really deal with that. If you pay attention, like fifth affirmation there says, I know exactly what I'm going to do for achievement of my goal. And then that really means that will not be absolutely clear. You won't have 10 if you don't know exactly what to do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
In my, I was just asking this because I totally agree. We have to have a plan, okay, and know how to achieve.
Yeah.
But in my problem, it's I know what I have to do, but I don't do.
Yes. Yes. If you pay attention, this is sixth affirmation that says I'm promptly taking actions that I'm doing. And if you pay attention, like Yayati's his own barrier, second one that we were breaking with is exactly that.
Yes.
But when you complete the process, it is possible to fail. You will deal with most of that. You'll be really oriented. When you're in really good state, you naturally want to take actions. Your resistance toward these actions was based on some barriers that you're having, and when they are resolved, you will want to take actions. This is not I am a person who just procrastinates. People procrastinate because there are emotional conflicts there.
And I don't. I have the sensation that yesterday you talked about it, but I'm not sure. Is it useful to use the feelings the projection of how we will feel once the goal will be achieved? I will feel like this. I don't know, light, happy, or whatever. Do we use this state of mind, future state of mind, to help something in the process, or no?
Yes. Like you don't need it in a process, but actually it will be useful once you eliminate inner conflicts and create like what I'm calling goal-driven experience. Then it will really then it will improve your behavior in regard to your goal. But while you're dealing with emotional conflicts, you don't have to think too much about that. This is not too useful. You should be focused on barriers in this moment. But after that, when you start taking actions in the material world, it will be really useful.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Daniel.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So in that sense, it doesn't matter that no fingers during the process. I mean, mental fingers, it's just a way to track.
I didn't understand what you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, you can use imaginary fingers.
Yes, but actually, you don't do that. It is easier to use real fingers.
Oh, okay, got it.
Like again, this is about structure, because if you are doing all these things in your head, you will sometimes when you are having cognitions and realization, you will wander off, and then you might say, okay, you say something like, okay, my parents were having that influence on me, and then think, and then you wander off instead of, and you don't know what to do next. You should have your fingers on the table if you can. If you cannot do that because of social situation is such that you cannot do it, okay, don't do it. But actually, it is better to use real fingers.
Okay, and that's just for what you're explaining, to be comfortable, because you can put it just fingers on the air too, right? But it's not comfortable.
Yeah, like you, yeah, like you can do different things if it is better for you. Okay, like sometimes I'm doing this, sometimes I'm doing this instead of left hand, like contact fingers with, like, for example, like this. But actually, this is, but I'm always having some. Okay, did you see what I did? Like some first finger, second finger, third finger, fifth finger, or something like that. Like, but actually, it is better to have something in material world that you are doing than just to stay in your head.
Oh, okay. Can you show me again what you usually? Okay.
Like this is first finger because of the thumb. This is second finger because of the index finger. This is third finger because of middle finger. This is fourth finger because, and this is fifth finger because this. So okay, cool. But actually, you can do whatever you want. But it is better to use the same thing all the time.
Oh yeah, I got it. It's just for structure, the same like HDP2 process.
Yeah.
But it's much better to have structure. So in the opposite condition, when you mention I still want this goal, you really need to mention the barrier. For example, I have no money. Yeah, okay. I have no money to pay my debts, and then you go to the other. Even I don't have money to pay my debts, I choose to pay them anyway. Something like that.
Yeah, but okay, like your barrier, in most cases, like why would you fail will be a little bit different than that example that you created. But yes, generally yes, you are aware exactly of the barrier that is, and then you notice that you still want your goal, although barrier exists.
Oh, okay, got it.
So answer to your question is yes.
Okay, you always put the phrase "I still want my goal."
Yes.
You don't go to a positive state. You don't go to the contrary affirmation. For example, I had money for paying.
Yes. You're right. You just want intention toward the goal. So you want to have effort, or basically orientation toward your goal, that you didn't give up your goal because of that barrier. So if you notice at the beginning, your first state is you lost orientation toward your goal because of the barrier. So if you say it's possible for me to fail because there is economic crisis, that really means I am waiting for a failure or something like that. I'm not oriented toward my goal. I retreated from barrier. And here you're saying, okay, although economic crisis exists, I still want my goal. You will have some cognition that will resolve that barrier that you're having because of that. So you're right. You have intention on the right hand to have your goal, although barrier exists. Like we have on that image, you have arrow through the barrier.
Okay. And final question. Sometimes you're folding the chain. I mean, the chain of contents. Sometimes you move into another barrier, and then you usually move, but sometimes you can get stuck in the same belief, the same situation, and just repeat the process. Or do you have to do something if you don't move to the next content that it's arriving, the next barrier?
I don't know how you concluded that. Like you don't go to the chain. Like it is always, like I said, there are two possibilities. One of the questions before was, what happens if the same barrier appears again?
Yes.
If same barrier appears again, define your barrier more specifically. In most cases, you are not define barrier more specifically. You said something like something general. So maybe I will not do things that I need to do, but actually you were thinking I will not exercise or something like that. Okay. Like you need to be specific, because especially if barrier doesn't disappear.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, Rosemary.
Hello, Filip. Nice to meet you, and thank you for running this event. Much appreciated. You mentioned tapping. Can you tell me what the relationship is between this process and tapping? How this might work better?
No. I mentioned that because like my feeling about tapping, but actually I'm not expert in that. I don't know. But my feeling is that most work, even in tapping, is done by like cognitions that you're having, or basically by putting your attention where you're putting it, so that you will have pretty much the same result even without tapping. This is my feeling about it. I am not expert. I cannot. You shouldn't quote me on that.
Yeah, I had a really small amount of experience, going
me
a few things,
too,
and
yeah.
it's like that. Even though I don't feel confident, I still love and accept myself.
Okay, cool.
But it's not. I just wondered whether it sort of went further towards actual goal achievement, like your system does. But you've explained that it's not really something you're very aware of.
I can say that, like, if you pay attention, like, to, I believe, the most important and valuable thing in 10 fingers process is awareness of what are the most important polarities that you might have in regard to achieving goal. If you pay attention, polarities that you are having here are withdrawal from a goal because of barrier, and realization that I still want my goal although barrier exists. This is, I believe, most important part, and this is something that I didn't see with other people. You can deal with these polarities with I don't know, with shallow pit or with EFT technique or different things, but actually understanding what are things that you are dealing with, polarities that you want integrated, and this is withdrawal and reaching for a goal. This is, I believe, most important part of the technique. You can use different techniques to deal with the charge that is beside it, but actually what is, I believe, most important thing about achievement of goal is that people withdraw from goals because of the barriers before they process it. And this is, I believe, most important part.
Yeah, it's survival and threat to identity and things like that when you move forward, which is what resistance is. So this is like not trying to change your identity, which some other modalities do. You just, well, don't worry about that. These barriers exist, but we're just not going to let them stop us.
Yes, absolutely. And you might notice later, if you do the test, you might notice that these negative characteristics that you might notice at the beginning, they might still be there. You didn't work on them, but actually you will notice that they are not your justification for giving up anymore. So you will know that they are irrelevant for achievement of your goal, and this is main thing deal. It is the same thing that you said just a minute before, or really close to that.
Okay, intriguing. I can't wait to get through this and see your result. Thank you so much again.
Cool. Okay, now let's do the same thing on your goals, basically on your own. So so basically, of course, I'm not talking to Rosemary, but to whole group. So do the same thing that we did on your goal, for example, with 2 different barriers, and then we will talk about it a little bit more, and maybe later do some more. So now we will start the exercise. We will say 15 minutes or something like that. 15 minutes, and do the process on yourself. You have processes. I've sent you in the mail yesterday or something like that. So basically, just do the same process that we demonstrated on your own. Cool. Are we ready to start? If there is any more questions, ask it. If not, let's start doing things instead of. Marek has a question. Marek, no, Marek told me that everything is fine. Cool, great. If you don't have any more questions, let's do the process.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
In this, we have something like shared benefits. When you see other people doing the process, you're receiving the benefit. Something like that.
I don't know what you're asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, just to see the process that you are receiving a benefit just to watch it, like in other techniques that you are there, you watch someone processing, and then you receive benefit.
Like, okay, but actually, this will not be like it. There are some benefits from there, but actually, you will not have them serious benefits here because you have your specific conflicts and doubts about your own goal. They need to be specified, like we said. And then you might have some benefits from that, but this is not important here. Okay, let's do the process. So 15 minutes, and we will see each other after that. I will start timer, I hope. And let's do that. Okay. Experiences, how was it? Anything to share? Any questions? How was it for you? Like, Rosemary.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we're doing the left hand and we're thinking the reason why we might fail, so I'm visualizing that reason I might fail. I'm seeing that in my mind. But when I'm going to the right hand saying, even though I still want my goal, what am I visualizing it?
Basically, you don't have to visualize even that on the left hand. You don't have to go too deep in it. It is more about feeling that you might fail about. This is more feeling of withdrawal. Then you don't have to go deep in that. You don't have to feel it strongly. You don't have to do anything about it. This is more feel that it's possible to fail, or know, experience in some way that it is not possible to fail. There is no need for going too deep or really experiencing it or something like that. Big part of that is that you will go alternatively to positive and negative state, and you will be able to experience negative side better second time when you go with it, and third time, and so on. So don't have to visualize it, to feel it too strongly or anything like that. And you don't have to visualize anything on the right hand. You just need to notice that you didn't give up, that you still want it, although barrier exists. Like, there is economic crisis, but I didn't give up. I still want my goal. And it is, in most cases, it is absolutely 100% obvious that you want it. You didn't give up. So you don't have, like, you are doing it a little bit too complicated. It is much easier than, like, I'm a person who, my father was always telling me that I'm absolutely terribly complicated and rational and things like that. So I understand. But actually, in this case, it is really, really, process should be absolutely easy.
Okay, yeah, cool. Just noticing. Thank you.
Great, cool. Dragana.
Thank you. It was a beautiful experience. And I have a question. When I asked last round, is it possible to fail? I don't know. So when will process be end? Should I go another circle just to, or how I know that the process is end?
Okay, like, if you pay attention, like, just the fact that you don't know, that really means that you are getting closer and closer to negative answer, like to knowing that it's not possible to fail. Again, small like additional or small remark about that it is not possible to fail. Like, it is not that you are delusional and that you know that it's really not possible to fail. But actually, in that moment, it should be something like, this is like, if it is possible to fail or not, I really don't care. I know what to do, and I'm going to take actions. Basically, you can play with it. Is it possible or not? Or you will, if you try to absolutely rationally answer that, you will probably find some additional reason why it is really possible to fail, and you should process it. You should continue with that. But actually, just the fact that you are asking that question means that you are relatively close to that state. Like, okay, like we can say, what was your goal? What is your goal?
My goal is to start eating healthy and in time.
Okay, yeah, like in meals, yeah,
meals.
Yeah, cool, great. So, like, for example, my question would be, if there is a bet in Las Vegas that I can bet will, if Dragana will be like that before the deadline, should I bet or not? Filip, like me, Filip, should I make that bet and earn money, or you would be cautious to advise something like that to me?
Relating to my goal, I didn't
understand. Yes.
I didn't understand. Sorry.
Like, if there is a betting place to make bets in Las Vegas, like, and bets that they are accepting is if Dragana will eat healthy and in meals before such and such deadline. Can you tell me, Filip, put all your money on that and you will win? You will win.
Yeah. No.
Oh, why not? So how can you fail? Like, knowing that, how can you fail?
I will, in some moment, I will give up.
Yeah. Okay. Like. Okay. This is what it. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Daniel.
Yeah. Thank you. My question is, what to do with the emotions that can appear during the process? You notice and you continue with the process.
What kind of emotion? For example, give me an example.
Oh yeah, for example, in my case, I was expecting to receive. I was working on receive $1,500 per month, for example, and then I realized that I'm scared that in certain months of the year where I don't have bonuses for my job, or that I'm not gonna be able to receive money. A lot of money even to pay my debts, and then that fear appeared, and then I realized that for me it's very important to pay my debts, but not just my debts, because that's not motivating. I mean, I want to pay my debts, plus I have a good quality of life.
Okay, but actually then you process that like exactly the same as you would process anything else. Emotion that you're having is always connected to some negative outcome. So this is like, okay, like I'm having that emotion that shows me that it is possible to fail because there will be months in which I won't receive bonuses. So left hand, it's possible to fail because in some months I will not receive bonuses. In right hand, although in some months I will not receive bonuses, do I still want my goal or not? Or did you give up your goal because of that or not? No, I didn't. I still want my goal. Intellectual. Absolutely normally, you're doing exactly the same process as you would do with barriers that you notice through that emotion that you noticed.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't change my barrier. I continue with the same path. I noticed that I should change barrier in that case.
Yes, like any emotion negative that you have is always connected to some negative outcome, or basically specific negative outcome that shows you what barrier you should process next.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Let's try to do two more processes on that. Like continue working on your own goal. Do two more processes. We will do it for next 10 minutes, and then we will talk a little bit more to answer questions or see what happened. Okay, 10 minutes. I will answer some of the questions that I received through chat, but rest of the group just start the process. Or even if you have questions, I will answer them in the next pause. Okay. So, experiences, questions, anything to share? Okay, like we don't want to be the same all the time. So Daniel, what was your question or remark?
I guess was a cognition. In the beginning, I want to have 1,500 per month, but then I realized that that's not totally true. That I want to do is to be able to pay my debts and to have a good quality of life. But then I realized that right now I'm scared to see my budget and to see how I'm spending to pay the debts. So probably I need to break up a little bit this and go for a mini goal of even though I am scared to see my budget, I want to do it anymore. And then go with I want to earn the quantity, a monthly quantity, but that monthly quantity is going to be determined after I see my budget. And then be able to enjoy my family, myself, pay my debts, and not get new ones.
First thing to notice is that when you say, I am afraid, this is really not specific enough. You should notice why and then process it. But actually, I understand everything that you said is totally cool and okay. You should do that. But what you should notice also is what I told you now. So basically, specify how, what are you afraid of? Fear is always resistance towards some experience. So you should define exactly what are you afraid of, and then do the process that although it is possible that this and this will happen, that what you are afraid of, I still want my goal on the right hand. On the right hand, it's possible to fail because this could happen or something like that. Cool.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Rosemary.
Hi. Following on from what was just said, one of my barriers for the goal that I definitely want, it's creating a lot of fear. I know exactly what I'm afraid of, but it's outside of my control. And how can I bring that level of fear down so that I can get to the right hand and go, even though this bad consequence could happen, I still want the goal.
Like there are some barriers that demand a little bit more, like a little bit more specific formulation on the right hand. For example, if you would say, like, it would be left hand. Yeah, so if you pay attention, when there is a fear like that, barriers or basically polarities that we are dealing with are not exactly the same as with, is it possible to fail? So this is basically, this is not, it's possible to fail because of such and such, and right hand, although such and such can happen, I still want my goal. But basically your polarities are now, maybe I don't want this because of that negative outcome in here Excel. Right hand, although there is a possibility of that negative outcome, do I still want my goal? But it is really important to notice that this is just a possibility of that, and see if possibility of that make you give up your goal or not. Maybe you don't want that goal. Maybe you can say, just the fact that that possibility exists, I still want my goal. But actually, you need to be aware that this is not this happening, but just possibility of this happening.
Well, it's highly probable. I mean, it's a goal I absolutely definitely want, but there's this one particular thing that's highly probable and puts me in a fear state of what if that happens.
Like I would like what I would do would be is what I would do is going a few more rounds with that. So basically left hand, but actually I would stay with what I told you. So this is not, is it possible to fail or not, but actually it would be a left hand. I don't want to do, it is not a good idea to do this because that could happen in later. Right hand, like maybe I really want to do that because positive side of that what you want in exhale. Left hand, maybe I shouldn't do that because negative reason in exhale. Right hand, maybe I want that, maybe right thing for me is that thing, and because of that and that. What is really important here is to define in every moment what is specific reason against and what is specific reason for. So like do that, and I would expect that really quickly either you will find a different or next level of some of these polarities and define that and do the same thing and then resolve it quickly, or you will realize that you want it although possibility exists or although probability is big for that, I want it. So what I'm saying here is polarities here are I should do this because of that, or I shouldn't do this because of positive reason, because of negative reason. Is it clear enough, or I made that too complicated?
Let's say it's good. We're going to have a recording, so I'll
yes. So, but okay. But once again, really clear, really simple situation. These are not the same polarities as usually. This is not about your ability to achieve your goal or not. This is about should I do this or not?
Yes.
So in a way, you can say polarities here. I should do this because such and such positive reason. And I shouldn't do this because of possibility of what you fear, negative reason. And start with that. Either it will, you will notice, I still want it. I don't care if that possibility exists. I don't mean that I will create it, but because of possibility, I want to give up. Or some of these polarities that you're using will go a little bit deeper, and you will find different level for one or both of these polarities that you are working with.
Okay, that's clear enough. Thanks very much.
Cool. Anybody wants to share something to share or something to ask? Okay. I will answer some of the questions that I had in the chat. I missed them because I wasn't looking at them. So, okay. So, Marianne, you would like to ask? Okay, yeah, cool. Sorry, I didn't have a notification that you asked. Tell me.
I have just one question.
Yeah, cool.
Checking your email of yesterday to prepare the second session today, you wrote to practice 3 times for your own goal.
Yep.
And in the document you enclosed, you say just to do it until we feel the goal cannot be failed. So why 3 times?
Like I didn't want to give you homework that you might not be able to complete, because that set of exercises was preparation for our session today. Okay. This is more about you getting familiar with technique than really using it. Okay. Like this is why then you are more prepared to go through this session, and once you tried it on your own. This is main reason why we're doing that. This is really good preparation for learning, like to try to do something like doing the best way you can, and then you see how you should do it really.
Okay. And
Cool.
A last question, if possible.
Yes, of course.
Is it a problem if I want to, is it as much effective or not if I do the 10 fingers method on all the barriers, one after the others, and then I check my previous goal? Okay, what has changed? Is it better to put another goal to adjust? Or
I'm not quite sure that I understood you correctly. Are you asking me about should you do steps 4 and 5, like modification of the goal and cognitions about it, after few processes or after each of the processes? Was that question, or I misunderstood you?
Normally, yeah. Normally, you write to do after each barrier, after each process, to check, to
yes,
adjust.
yes. And answer is you should absolutely do it after every process.
Okay.
Because verbalization that you might have in steps 4 or 5 will give you maybe additional levels of benefits that you experience with 10 fingers, because verbalization makes your wins and benefits more stable. Going through them, you should do it in any moment. And sometimes modifications that you might create after process in the goal will dramatically change how your process will go after that, or might slow it down or make it muddy and unclear if you don't modify. For example, if I'm hearing process and in this process I realize, for example, I have something like maybe I can fail because my family might not support me. My family might miss me if I don't get that management position, anything like something like that. And you have cognition that you need to achieve that goal in a way that basically your cognition might be to have like, okay, I want to have that because I want prosperity for my family. This is what I want for my family. And like, then you might modify your goal and add that thing in the formulation of the goal. So instead of I'm having such and such position in my company, your goal becomes I'm having such and such position in my company and my whole family benefits from that. So this is modification that you might have. This is possible modification that I'm asking in question number 5. And if you end that, then process, although these modifications may seem like absolutely obvious or that they are not doing anything really important, you might feel after that you feel absolutely differently about your goal. Goal, like I'm getting that such and such position in my company, or I'm getting such and such position in my company and my whole family have great benefits to that, or add 2 or 3 benefits to that. It might be totally impossible to imagine how that changes whole thing. Sometimes that modifications of that you might do, if you notice them nicely during the process, may create process that will be totally different after that.
And if we adjust if we don't put another goal, but if we adjust the goal after some sessions, once we adjust it, do we have to start again how do I feel towards the goal?
No. This is a really absolutely natural process. That your goal changes even if you don't know that it changes. Like it is changing with every process that you're doing. You might not notice it and you might not formalize it, but actually this is really happening. This is why your perception of goal changes, and this is why your feelings about it change. This is why, like after a few processes, you feel that negative feeling, it is possible to fail, goes from 8 to 2 or something like that. This is because your perception of the goal, your how you define your goal changes. Even if you're not absolutely aware, if you are aware and you make conscious changes in that, this is even better. So I don't know why I started to talk about that. Okay, cool. So, but actually, steps 4 and 5 could be really, really important. It is really easy to neglect them and to miss them, to feel that 10 fingers, doing 10 fingers, this is the process. But actually, you should think about realizations that you're having in step number 4. Verbalize them. If you say you should maybe sometimes ask, okay, this was a problem before, now it is not a problem. How come? What happens? What is the change? So it feels that this is not a problem anymore. And you verbalizing that can be really, really, really beneficial. So this is why you shouldn't miss or neglect steps 4 and 5. And you should do it after everyone, because sometimes not doing that really means not integrating cognitions that you have into whole process. And because of that, it may make it a little bit slower and stop it a little bit or something like that. Cool. Okay. Anybody else?
When you have a cognition, is it okay to break the process for a while and write it down so you don't forget it?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, we call process 10 fingers because we have 10 fingers. But actually, in most cases, you will have cognitions on the second or third finger or something like that. It is really rare. It sometimes means if you are not having cognition and going to 10 fingers, usually you didn't formalize your barrier as specifically as you should. In most cases, you will have cognitions on 3 fingers. Like it will be enough to have 6 fingers for this process, not 10. So because of that, answer to your question is yes, you should stop it. Actually, you are not stopping it. You have finished it. When you are having cognition, you are where you want it to be. You already achieved what you needed to achieve in the process.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. I realize that I'm forgetting to inhale and exhale a lot.
This is not a big problem. Like this is the same thing that I told you about fingers. This is again about structure. These inhales and exhale doesn't do, I believe, anything in the process.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, few answers to things that people ask me in a chat. Question question was, does the yawn or sigh on energetic release in the 10 fingers method count as breathe in and breathe out, or should we do it again after that? Yes, it counts. It is totally okay to integrate these two things that you are having as a reaction to process. This is totally cool. So answer is yes to that question. How can you know that your goal is correct and not dangerous fantasy? I believe that even if it is dangerous fantasy, if you want it, you should work on it. And then during the elimination of inner conflicts that you have about it, you might realize that this should be changed. And like I said yesterday, usually you will say that in most groups, or basically you can say 30% of people dramatically or significantly change their goals during the process, or absolutely change their goals. So don't worry if goal is right or not, just process it. Just use technique to eliminate conflicts. Elimination of conflicts will make you realize why the goal wasn't perfect for you. If it was not perfect, that should be that should be realized by process and not by thinking too much about that. Yeah, the great examples. I have some problems with my microphone. This is just Luca was sharing his experience, but this was just shift. It is great process. So I cleaned barriers on the left hand and they disappear on the right hand. Okay, cool, great, perfect. We don't have anything else. Cool. Homework, or basically, like we said, fourth day, like third day is you working. You are using 10 fingers process on your goal. I will send you that specifically in email that I will send you right away, or basically when I'm ready to send you recording. But long story short, do 2 sets like we did during the process, like maybe 2 sets of 15 minutes, do them tomorrow on your goals. If you're able to do 3 processes in 15 minutes, do 3 processes. If you can do just 2 processes in 50 minutes, do 2 processes. But actually do 2 sets like homework for, or your work for tomorrow, third day of our workshop or our course, is do 2 sets like we did today. Twice 15 minutes with 10 fingers process on your goals. Then on Tuesday, we will see each other. We will discuss what happens, answer questions, and do a little more processing in a different way. Okay, do we have any questions about homework that I will send you, or about anything else that you would like to ask?
How much time is the recommended time to do in a daily basis this kind of processes? 15 minutes per day, in 3 times?
I'm usually doing a little bit more than that, but actually it really depends on how you feel. Like once you get yourself in a good shape, like in a state in which you know that it's not possible to fail, then you will start taking actions. When you start taking actions, then in some moments you will get out of that perfect state because something happened in material world. You will have reactions, and then you will need to process yourself again to have cognitions about what happened and modify your behavior, and you will modify your plan about that. But actually, answer to your question is you should process, not depending on such and such amount of time, but actually to keep yourself all the time in a state in which you're in positive state in regard to your goal, or in a state in which you know that it's not possible to fail.
Okay, and final question, what to do when, for example, when I bought your courses, I saw the video course, I saw the PDFs, I saw the practical courses, I practiced a little bit, and then I ran away. I didn't do it again. So what to do with that part, how you can handle the tendency that we have to avoid pain or not to feel the emotions. I do it because you were here today, and that was wonderful, was very deep the work that I did, but I'm not sure if I can do it alone by myself.
Yeah, you're quite right. Like it is a big part of this is that once you start working, you cannot say, okay, let's go drink coffee or let's go watch something on YouTube or something like that. You will work on yourself 2 hours or something like that. This is a really big. I have a group from people who participated in my mastermind program. We are meeting every 2 weeks, and everybody is working on their goals or something like that. These are people who went through like my high-end product or like program that was 3 months and everything and things like that. But actually, it is really useful for them. We are seeing each other every 2 weeks and working on our goals. My sister is coming there, sometimes working on the goals, sometimes working on some problems that she's having. She's coming because she knows that once she's in that session, that she will work 2 hours there. So you're quite right, like it is totally different. But actually, don't worry about it too much if you will be able to do it or not. Just start and do the best way you can, because more you work, in a better state you will be, and you will be more able to work. So if you haven't done something for, I don't know, 3 months, and you say, oh, I'm crazy people, well, this is totally like, I am a bad person because of that, or something like that, you are really critical against yourself. Don't do that. Just sit and do the first thing that you can do. Let's do 15 minutes. And it will, like, the fact that you were doing it for 15 minutes in this, for people, usually it is much easier than to do homework, or if it is just 15 minutes. You know that it is exactly the same as we did, and say, tomorrow, let's do 2 sessions of 15 minutes and complete that. So this is like, the best way you can do is always make one positive step when you can. If you're in a shape that you can do it, do it. Don't be too critical because you make 2 steps in the wrong direction in the previous 2 months. This is the best way. Best thing that you can do is to do it, to do the right thing now. So homework, 2 sets of 15 minutes tomorrow, and then we will see each other on Tuesday to discuss whatever we want and work a little bit more. Cool. Okay.
Thank you.
If you don't have, yeah, you're welcome. Great. This is the end for us for today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for these little hearts. Thank you.
It was wonderful, today's lesson. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was nice to meet too. I enjoyed it. Okay, this is it for tonight. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.